to the hobbyist. I feel like it's a slumber party here. I'm working on the road this week, and I haven't slept good all week, and I've had a headache every day. And so when I got done with work today, which it's just kind of appointments for a couple hours each day, but when I got done today, I just wanted to get into something comfortable. So I came back to my hotel and put on my pajamas. So get your pajamas on and we'll have a slumber party. Just, you know, it is what it is. So I also got myself a face mask and some nail polish and some rosé, and I'm just gonna veg and relax and hopefully sleep really good tonight and feel better tomorrow. So that's my plan. So we're here today to talk about what I read in September. And I had a really good reading month this month, so I'm excited. We're going to start, let's see, the first one I finished was The Spy and the Traitor, the greatest espionage story of the Cold War. And this was really good. I gave this 5 stars. This is about a double agent spy who, and it's just kind of his story of how he became a double agent, and this types of secrets that he helped come to light, so that things could be intercepted or whatnot before disaster struck. So he was a Russian spy, and then he became a double agent for England, and it's a true story. And then I read Comfort Me with Apples by and I didn't say The Spy and the Traitor is by Ben Macintyre. And then Comfort Me with Apples is by Catherynne Valente. And this one I gave 3 stars. I'm not really sure what I thought about it. I liked it. It was interesting. I don't know. I mean, I liked that it was outside my comfort zone. It isn't something that I would typically read, but it's a shorter story, novella type. And so it was a quick read. I did like the writing style. And yeah, it was, I don't know. It's so, and I don't even know how to tell you much about it without divulging too much. We're hearing the story from Sophia, and she just wakes up one morning and she's starting her day, and she just kind of repeats to herself how she was, made for her husband, and she loves her husband, and he's perfect, and they're perfect, and everything's perfect. Her life is perfect. And then she just starts to see things or notice things that make her question her reality. And I'll kind of leave it at that. So I did like it. But yeah, 3 stars for me. And then I read a Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, and I loved this one. This one just was such a comfort read. Like, you just get your blanket and your coffee or your tea or whatnot, and light a candle and curl up with this one, because it's just heartwarming, and there's not a lot to it. As far as the plot, it's fairly simple. It's this Monk, it's kind of set in a alternate world or a futuristic world, and robots have kind of self-realized and they don't want to work for humans anymore, so they go and kind of do their own thing in this part of the world, and humans are doing their thing in this part of the world. And this monk wants to just kind of figure out what his purpose is and whatnot. And he wants to break the cycle. He does the same thing every day, the same thing every year, and that type of thing. And so he goes off his normal path and runs into this robot, and they meet and kind of start traveling a bit together. And it's just a really interesting story. There's a lot of interesting questions that come about. So it's a fun one, and I'm excited to read. There's a follow-up book, and I'm excited to read that. Then I read Horrorstor, is that how you say it? By Grady Hendricks. And I give this one 4 stars. This is my first Grady Hendricks, although I have several on my list to read. So, and I don't even think this is one of the more popular ones. So the fact that I like this one so much has to bode well for the others on my list. And this one, I was surprised because it's categorized as horror, and I don't read a lot of horror, so I was a little nervous going into it. But for the first half of it, I was really laughing quite a bit. I just thought that it was really, there were some really funny moments and really funny lines, and I really felt like the character development was really good. So you really kind of could distinguish all the characters' characteristics and visualize them really well. And when it did get to the horror section, I don't know that maybe I just didn't, because thinking about it, it should have been pretty horrific, but I don't think my mind let me go there. So I kind of saw it more in a cartoony way or something, because I didn't see it as gory as the way it would have been or could have been played out in somebody else's head. So 4 stars. I really liked that one. Then I read, or actually listened to, Unmasked, My Life Solving America's Cold Cases by Paul Holes. And I really liked this one as well. I gave it 4 stars. This year I haven't been doing very good with my nonfiction, so I am trying to at least get a few more in between now and the end of the year. So this was one that had been on my list, and I am familiar with Paul Holes. I've seen some of his TV shows and whatnot. So, or that he's been in, I think one he's the main person in it, and another one he's, I don't know. But anyway, I've seen him. I'm familiar with him. And this was just, it primarily focused on the Golden State Killer, but there were several other cases that he kind of discussed here and there, and then also delved into how this affected his personal life, and you could really kind of see how that could happen. Just I think cold cases are really interesting, or any cases are really interesting. And as much as we can be obsessed with them on TV or podcasts or whatnot. If it was actually your job, I could see how it could be. You could easily get obsessed with it. Then I read Tender is the Flesh by Augustina. Oh, no, I can't say that. I'll put it up here on the screen. And this one is also a short one, probably a novella. I don't have the page. Let me see the page numbers here. 211. So yeah, not a very long one, but I gave it 4 stars. I really did enjoy this. So this one is also, I think futuristic, but not too far in the future, because it doesn't seem like, a lot of the things, like life hasn't changed. Just this one little thing has changed. So animals have gotten a virus or something that has made them inedible. You can't eat them or you'll die. The humans will die. Instead, they start breeding and raising humans like herds for their meat. And so this our main character, Marcos, he works in a slaughterhouse, and that's his job. He's not on like the line where you're doing the slaughtering, but he's kind of upper management or whatnot. But it's a really interesting story, and I can't say too much about it without giving too much away. But I mean that kind of gives you enough of the plot, I think. But what I felt was really interesting throughout is that it didn't ever really discuss the option of not having meat. Like where did all the vegetarians go? And why is that not a big movement when this, came about? And that doesn't seem to even be discussed. So I thought that was really interesting. And then there are a couple hints or suggestions in sprinkled in there that maybe the virus wasn't even real, and maybe the government made it up to help control population growth. It's so disturbing, but very interesting and thought-provoking. So yeah, I gave that one 4 stars, and it could be more like a 4.5. I really did enjoy it. But it kind of left, I guess, maybe the ending. Well, no, I liked the ending too. I don't know. 4 or 4.5, somewhere in there. So then I read Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke by LaRocca. And this one I have mixed feelings on. I ended up giving it 2 stars. Primarily because I really liked the idea of it, but I thought it could have done so much more. And instead it didn't do anything. I mean, I just felt like there could have been so many ways you could have taken this plot line, and it didn't do any of those, and I didn't really get any kind of satisfaction out of where it did go. So this one is, and from the description, like I thought it was going to go this way, and then it didn't. So I think maybe I was waiting for it and it didn't happen. So this is two women are, they meet online. One is selling an item and the other one is interested in purchasing it. And then they start chatting, and a relationship kind of develops online. And then there's manipulation that occurs. And yeah, I just think that it could have went in so many ways. And it was a bit, well, and my other complaint with it was that it seemed like we went from selling the item to love and instant manipulation. Well, and like instant love and instant manipulation. Whereas I just don't think, if I met somebody online and had the number of correspondence that these ladies had, that somebody's saying, okay, now I want you to do this. Like I'd say, get lost. You're crazy. I'm not doing that. So it was hard for me to grasp. And I could, I understand that maybe we were supposed to believe that there were other correspondence, but it didn't feel like there was. It didn't feel like you've missed anything, and it gave all the dates. So it didn't seem like there was time that passed, where there was conversations that we were missing or anything. So 2 stars. Then I read Book Love by Debbie Tung, and I gave this one 5 stars. I thought this was so cute. And this is a graphic novel. It's just a little cute book. And it's just about loving books, loving reading, people who don't understand that love and how they might look at us a little crazy. But yeah, it was fun. Another one that I just could see curling up with and looking, through at any time. And I might have to purchase it so it's on my shelf, because it just made me smile and made me happy. Then I read The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. And I gave this one, or actually I listened to this one, and I gave this one 4 stars. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. This is kind of a rom-com type of one, but which I love rom-coms. They're kind of my palate cleanser when I'm trying some genres that are a little harder hitting, or more emotional, or outside my comfort zone. These, always kind of bring me back. But and these are usually what I listen to too. If I do audiobooks, I'll usually listen to a rom-com or a nonfiction. So, and this one has been out there for a little bit, so it might be already familiar to you. But this is a 3rd-year PhD candidate. And then she meets, so she's trying to, she had like a date or a couple dates with this guy, and it didn't work out. And her best friend likes him, but won't date him because she had a relationship with him or dated him, and she thinks that wouldn't be appropriate. So to let her friend know that she's completely over this other guy and it's okay to date him, when she sees her friend in the hall one day. Well, she tells her she has a date, and then she sees this friend in the hall. So she grabs the first guy and kisses him, and the friend sees it. And so then she's like, oh, okay, she is over him. I can, I can date, or that's the idea. And so then this guy and her end up kind of fake dating to continue the facade, and things go from there. So it was really cute and fun. And am I saying that a lot in this one? I feel like I am, but I did like that one too. And then to finish out the month, well, I might finish one more this month, but I'm ready to record now, so we're doing it. So I'll put it on the next one. So the last one was The Gunkel by Stephen Rowley. And this one I loved. I gave this one 5 stars. I couldn't get enough of it, and I want more. So this is there's a uncle. Okay, so a woman and a man have 2 kids. The woman has an illness, and she passes away while she's been sick. The husband got addicted to medications, and so he has to go to rehab. And so right after the funeral, they have decided that the kids, the brother, or oh gosh, I'm screwing up the synopsis so bad. So the guy asks his brother, which also was the woman's best friend in college and whatnot, to take the kids for the summer while he goes to rehab. And so this brother is gay, and so he's the gay uncle. So he is the Gunkel, and they call him Gup for gay Uncle Patrick. And it's just so cute and fun and funny. I laughed out loud several times throughout this. And then, but it also has some really great scenes related to grief and dealing with grief and children's grief, but adult grief as well. And just, it was just wonderful, and I loved it to pieces. So I ended up was that 10 or 11? 10. So I finished with 10, and then I am currently reading 2 books. So I'm reading 500 Miles from You by Jenny Colgan. And this is an audiobook, and I'm listening to it. While I'm working on the road, I listen to it in the car while I'm driving. And then I've also started reading Dreadful Young Ladies and Other Stories by Kelly Barnhill. And I'm enjoying both of those, so they're really interesting. I'm about ready to start My Dark Vanessa. And I'm excited to start it, and especially because I am joining in on a traveling book club where you take notes, you annotate in your book, and then you send it to the next person, and they have a different pen color and make their notes. And I don't know how, I haven't gotten all the information yet from the organizers, so I'm not sure how many people are going through, but then you eventually will get your book back, I believe. So I'm excited to start that one, and excited to see how how that works. But so that is my September wrap up. I will see you again soon.